I'm gonna have Guru Josh, who's a War Strength Filipino martial arts instructor here at War Strength Martial Arts, and he is also a full dog brother. So if you guys don't know the Dog Brothers, he's had over 100 fights. Do you know the exact number?
140 something.
140 something, but who's counting, right? Whatever. So what weapons have you used, Josh?
Stick, knife, sword, staff.
Stick, knife, sword, staff.
Tomahawk. And mixing of those.
Spitting in the eye.
Buckler.
Yeah. Throwing your glasses at the buckler, sword and buckler. So, Josh, full dog brother here. I asked him, hey, somebody has had 140 fights. Can you send link for the gear? Yeah. Yes, sir. I believe if you just Google Lameco Eskrima, you can find that. So, somebody's had 140 fights. You know, they have some experience. Full contact fights, guys. We're not talking about some fights that are just, some of these Eskrima tournaments where they just hit with padded sticks. This is full-on fights. So those who know. So basically, I'm going to have Josh get on. Hey, look at my wife and my daughter here. So, because we're doing a BJJ class here in about 30 minutes. So this is a real quick intro. So, some of the entries that he can do. And just to show you the power of this thing, look, he's just going to just whack it. That doesn't hurt. Well, I feel that. but it's not as bad. I mean, it's not as bad as if he really did hit me. Okay, so I'm going to pass the mic over to Josh. So what are some of your entries? Hey, babe.
Well, so actually what we talked about is I was going to cover over some of the stuff that I do. I do a lot of hand targeting. So I've had the fights that I've finished have mostly been from either hand shots, wrist shots, or elbow shots. Mm-hmm. So some of the things that I learned from previous instructors or even just little drills that have come along the way that I wanted to just share for how to work and build up on your hand targeting. So first here, I mean, since he's got this, I'll use this, but if you have a padded stick, or what's good is just go buy like a big set of hockey gloves because they cover a lot more space. Gives you a nice big target you can work on, and then as you get more accurate, you can trim down the target. But what my first instructor, so Terry Crutcher, Sea Shadow Dog, he kind of had us do this drill. We didn't go all the way that I'm going to show a progression, but to build up on as you go. So whoever is going to be padded up, first, I'm just going to have him move up and down, okay? So he's just going to move slow up and down with his hand, and the idea is you work on trying to hit while that's moving up and down. And at first, I want just single shots, right? Just single. Then he's going to move horizontal, okay? Left and right. So just working single. What angles are going to work, not work, as you're going there. Then one diagonal. So that same diagonal line, right? Just one diagonal line. Then the other diagonal line. Notice you can work both hands as well. So then you work on circling one way, because you have people that are going to be there, kind of the circler in front. How can you target that hand? Woo, there. They circle the other way, right? So maybe they're the person that's turned more here, working redondo, kalimba game, anything like that. And then you have them move it freely. So he's just going to kind of move all around.
And
plus
guys,
signs, X's, circles, mix it up.
now, to just interrupt a little bit, the learning speed for somebody, and not Josh, but somebody else, is you can't just go, wah! So I'm going to give him like a 50% speed. Okay, so I'm going to go freely. I might change it up, I might come low, horizontal. See?
Right, and you'll just find those shots. So that's the first part. Then the next part would be go right back through that order again. So he goes back to vertical, and now I'm going to work on hitting again. There I missed, okay, so that's my learning point if that doesn't work. I hit again, right? I also work on, maybe if he has a glove on the other hand, maybe another progression past that is he goes, I hit the other hand, right? Mm-hmm. So you try to track over to the other hand. Another way to work it would be whenever I go to hit him, he just does some reaction to avoid, okay? So he goes to avoid. How do you follow to hit the hand, the head, the other hand? Mm-hmm. If you're going to go head, put a fencing mask on, or make sure you pull back the shot like I did. Obviously, experience level, go to the safety that you need to. But that's one way to be able to work on how to track hands faster. or build up your ability to track hands. Because if you can take out the hands, you can play a little bit more conservative game. I had one gathering. I had both ankles were sprained in the 6 months before. I had a gout flare up 2 weeks before, and I was in the worst shape of my life. I still went and fought, did I think 13 fights that weekend. A lot of times I stood still, but I was able to tag hands, and I was able to try to get reactions out of people to then work, because you're not always going to be 100% healthy, mobile. So can you still fight? What can you still work? And if it's reality, if he doesn't have this on, and I hit it, do you think his hand's going to deal with that if he doesn't have that on? Probably not. It's probably going to knock out what's in the hand. And if this is a blade, if it's any blade of any heft, that's going to shred their hand too. Because who nowadays walks around with like a metal hand shield? That's, not saying anything against the HEMA group, but in one tournament that I did, I kept targeting the hands, and I was like, well, why aren't these counting? Well, the armor that they had, it wouldn't do anything, but I'm training more this realm where it would do something, okay? So you got to think, what's the context of what are you in, okay? Another drill for hand targeting, and I got this off of training with Lynn Ferry, which, Lynn, I forget if your rank was dog, or for the females, sometimes they choose bitch as their code, female dog, all that. But Lynn Ferry, her husband had taken a softball, screwed it to the end of a staff. Now, obviously softballs are bright green, so that's gonna help your eye. So that's a good point to start with, is working tracking around. Next point would be you spray paint that ball black, so your eye has to learn to track something that looks more like a glove, because everybody wears black gloves pretty much. Or you could just toss a glove onto an end of a staff, or maybe a couple of them, just so it doesn't just slide right off. It gives it a little something in there. Now he can move that around. So if we're gonna do a social distancing version of this, he can move that around and I can track, right? And I can go here to there, which is maybe the hand to the arm, but I can simulate it more at a distance, okay? Plus, this is gonna have a certain bounce track that I'm gonna then follow to, which simulates a little bit of somebody pulling their hand away. So if you don't have the extra protective gear, you'll get a similar reaction to somebody pulling away.
I'll give you this view, guys, so you can see what just happened in the bounce back.
Yeah.
So
So see how there was that little bit of a recoil backwards, right? And then you can go to there. So if that's somebody swinging like this and then they go to pull their hand back, okay, maybe you missed that, but then on the second swing you cut at their arm, okay? So that's another way you can work hand targeting drills. So last part that I'll cover, again with kind of hand targeting. If I'm working all of these, I'm progressing through it, then a lot of times I like to switch hands to be able to throw people off. I'm actually a lefty. I do everything right-handed for the most part in FMA, because my first 5 fights, I got nerve damage in this wrist, and everybody else was right-handed, so that's everybody I had to train with. So I worked a lot to get better with my right hand, although now I also have a reattached bicep tendon, so I don't have all the flashy, florete, swirly, twirly movements that a lot of other people can do, so I don't look as pretty as what he's gonna look like. Multiple reasons. Good job, Amanda. I'm just making it weird. No, but I, it's more, okay, can I just follow angles? Can I get strikes in? Do I have power? Do I have speed? Do I have reactive time, mobility, all that? So I need to work on attributes more than necessarily all the fancy stuff, okay? But with the idea here of switching on hands, when I switch hands, what I find is I can either trap people to go to their other hand, and then they aren't as accustomed to it, so I have the advantage then because they aren't as used to using their left hand, but they feel like they're getting balanced out. Or if they stay with their dominant hand, whenever I do that switch, then I play the outside game, so kind of like those of you that are familiar with Muay Thai, boxing, all of that, kickboxing, trying to get the outside foot, or I will play an inside game where I specifically target the inside of the hand. And I will get multiple times, and I'll just work these shots to figure out how the person reacts. And if I continually land on the inside, usually then they go to the inside, and then I just start attacking the outside. So I will play that game back and forth. I know I put a video up on my Instagram, WSMA Rogers, if you want to go look, where it was a knife fight that I had with another guy. And he ended up, I got him into this where I hit multiple times, and then he did that switch, and then I still hit him, caught him on that. So that's what I play with knife as well. And another part on hand switching is, why not go for a hit while you switch? So rather than just sitting here and just switching and playing that, why not hit here? And if your stick doesn't have to where you specifically try to tape, or you're not using padded sticks to where then if you hit with the handle, you're gonna hurt your partner, you could also look at hitting, flipping, step through, and hit with the other side. Or you look at, I will sit here and I will come to a like false lead, so where I'll have my weapon side back, but I will extend forward and then switch hands and still attack on that side with a little bit extra range, okay? That allows me to either go from hand to follow the hand again, because I'm a big guy. A lot of times I get people backing up then. They don't want to tie up with somebody who's 6'1", 300 pounds. So then they either back up and I can still target hands, or if they do happen to stay there, maybe I caught them off guard, I can hit here and then I can go to the head, crash in, work whatever else. But that's my kind of hand targeting, hand switching sort of tutorial stuff that I